Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. I just want to talk at you quick today about ball python temperament. This beautiful little yellow belly clown girl is with me today because she is my youngest holdback snake that I have, and was my likeliest to show any sort of fear or temperaments that might not be ideal or desired by a hobbyist, right? Now she's not. She's not giving me anything. She's calm. She's got gentle tongue flicking. She's curious. She's cruising around. She's chill as could be. But she was really my best chance, and so I pulled her out. Plus, she's just beautiful, so you can look at her anyways. Also, she still needs a name. So temperament. Why am I making this video? Those of you who watch the channel with any regularity know that I often do videos in defense of ball pythons. Even though we keep a lot of other species, I'm always talking about this, about why they're good. Because there's so many people out there talking about why they're bad. I want there to be a counterbalance. I want people to also hear a voice somewhere that's saying, no, actually, I think they're fantastic because of XYZ, you know? So one of the things that I've seen recently on forums is attacking the temperament of a ball python. So I would like to have a video in defense of a ball python's temperament, right? Look at this sweet little girl giving me kisses. I mean, what's not to love? Anyway, if you'll watch how she's moving, very slow, very calculated, very controlled. For some reason, people don't like that. To me, this is the perfect snake handling experience, right? This is exactly what you want in a snake. It is confident, it is curious, it is friendly, but it's also not wiggly, super fast, the thrashing movements. It has a good body control where it can help hang on to my hand, so I'm not constantly worried about it dropping. Perfection. I love this. This is the soothing, fascinating, just awesome handling experience that I want from a snake and that I feel like other people should want. It seems desirable to me to have a calm, easygoing snake, clearly not scared. If she were scared, she'd be hissing or striking or curling up in a ball. She is just cool as a cucumber here. So what is it that people say that's bad about the temperament of these guys? They might say that they're so skittish that they're terrible eaters. Well, in my experience, that's just simply not the case. They certainly follow their own natural biology, where ball pythons are built for fasting periods, but that's not a temperament thing. That's just physiologically a need of theirs that when they need to fast, they're going to fast, and nothing to do with being scared or skittish. If they got sick, then of course that might induce a fast, but that's a totally different issue. And probably one brought on by improper husbandry, right? Or just bad luck, not the temperament of your snake. But no, the fasting thing to me, it's just a money saver. If they don't want to eat for a few weeks or even a couple months, I don't want my snake to go 5-6 months without food. I would start to get concerned, but a little fast in the winter, nothing to worry about as far as I'm concerned. People love calling these guys, it's just exactly like having a pet rock. Okay, I don't see that it's that much different from, a boa constrictor, which no one ever says that about. Any thick-bodied, low metabolism python or boa is going to have a relatively simple, slow-moving, stationary life, but only within reason. A well-kept, healthy ball python is a very curious animal. They like to see what's going on. They like to climb a little bit. They like to burrow a little bit. They like to perch and bask and explore. This animal is like, I don't know, 2 months old, and she's just happy as a clam to be sitting out here with me, cruising around, gentle, calm, confident, tongue flicking. Uh, to me, the act of moving more slowly as opposed to a colubrid, right, or a lizard, has nothing to do with how fascinating it is to me. In fact, I like it. It's more soothing and gentle as an experience for handling or for viewing, right? Um, it's crazy to me that people with a green tree python could call this a pet rock. Your green tree python is way more stationary than my ball python. Somebody with a sand boa calling my ball python a pet rock. Your pet rock is buried, all the time. Still a fantastic animal, but if being out and being seen is so important to you, first off, don't get a nocturnal animal as a pet. Or in their case, I think crepuscular might be a more accurate term. Kind of the double activity levels. So, early morning and then kind of dusk is their height of their activity levels. But regardless, ball pythons that seem to adapt really well to our diurnal schedules. I catch them cruising during the day too. It's more frequent at night. But no, I just the pet rock thing to me is so obnoxious. They're awesome. They're just as curious and wonderful as any other pet snake. Uh, I could go pull out an eastern indigo snake. That is an active animal, cruising all day long, diurnal, so out during the daytime like we are, fast moving, totally different reptile keeping experience than these guys, right? Also awesome. I would recommend an eastern indigo to anybody who has the capability of keeping them properly. Spectacular animals, but a lot more work. They poop a lot more. They need a lot more space. And I am actually in favor of giving ball pythons more space than we currently give them. But an eastern indigo needs a ton of space, right? Handling an indigo or a crebo is a lot more work as well. They are fast. They are active. They don't really stop moving. Our retic is that way. It just depends on what you want, I guess. But to just pretend like anything that's not perfectly to my taste must automatically be worse and terrible is a silly way to go through life. Ball pythons are wonderful. They are very, very inquisitive if you let them be. And that's one thing that I do want to touch on is maybe a couple of tips, okay? Because not everyone's attacking them. Some people are like, yeah, I held a ball python and it didn't do anything. So I'd rather get a snake that's going to do something. Well, these guys, especially as babies, if they're not acclimated yet, if they're not socialized yet, young hatchlings, or maybe a snake that just was never really handled enough and you got a hold of it, from a rescue or whatever, or a breeder sold off older stock and it was an animal that they just never really worked with very much. It's not used to people. It's a little standoffish. If you hold a ball python, one that's not just terrified and it's just holding still and it's kind of solid and stiff and not moving and not really tongue flicking, give it at least 5 minutes, maybe 10. That doesn't sound like a long time, but it feels like a long time to just sit holding a totally stationary snake. But if you do, you will watch its curiosity get the better of it. And it's pretty awesome to watch in your hand happening. You can see the ratio of fear is way up here and curiosity is way down here. You can watch it shift. And when it finally shifts to here, and here's curiosity starting to take over, the tongue flicking starts. They start moving their head around. You feel tension leave their body. They don't feel so puffed up and stiff. They start cruising. And then when nothing bad happens to them, their confidence goes way up. It's really a cool experience, right? It requires a little bit of patience. You get a baby corn snake and it's just going crazy right out of the egg. It's exciting, certainly, but I don't want all of my baby snake handling experiences to be like that. I like some of them to be like this. And so give it time. That is one thing I always tell people. Another thing that I've told a lot of people, don't train them to bite you. That seems weird. Like, who would ever train them to bite? Well, you're not doing it on purpose, but you're doing it. Some people really have trained their snake to bite them. I get this text a lot. Hey, I bought a ball python a while ago from Petco or wherever, and it's pretty bitey, so I've been just leaving it alone until it calms down. But it's been several weeks, and every time I go to pick it up, it still strikes, or at least hisses. So I leave it alone. But I've given it so much time now. How long is it going to take before it calms down? Well, if you allow this snake to realize I give one little hiss or one little nip and they leave me alone, you are training this animal to hiss and nip because it figures, oh, I'm chilling out in my cage, big old scary hand comes down at me. All I have to do to scare it off is go and it leaves, it goes away. So I'm going to do that forever, and this is great. And your ball python's happy and you're sad, right? So don't do that. Don't let them determine that you're never going to handle them. This is a harmless animal. The bite is nothing, okay? That being said, there is a automatic instinctual response in most people to a snake strike. This does not mean you're a coward or a wuss. It is almost impossible for most people, me included, to not jerk your hand away when a snake strikes at it. Even knowing consciously, like, I've been bit so many times, it's never hurt me, but it's just an instinct. I jerk my hand away. I'm not good at it, you know. A lot of snake keepers are pretty good at it. They can just sit there and take it and it doesn't matter. Oh, you see that little yawn? It's so cute. But I don't have that gift. I don't know if I'll ever have that gift. Many people don't. So what I tell people is, if you have a snake and it is nippy, or you're afraid it's going to be nippy, put on a leather work glove and gently scoop up your snake from behind, okay? You know, these snakes who, one of their primary predators in the wild is a bird of prey, something huge and warm coming swooping down right at their face from above is the scariest possible thing to happen to them, right? Something gently scooping them up from behind and underneath, that's not nearly as scary. You're not likely to get bitten at all that way. But if you do, and you have that thick leather glove on, it's easier for your brain to resist twitching away, right, from the strike. And so that way, your snake isn't telling you what to do. You're just scooping it up, and it might hiss, it might throw a little fit, but you're still holding it. And it quickly realizes, after just 3 or 4 days, like, you know, nothing bad is happening. And actually, I kind of like getting picked up because I get to see all this other stuff. This person's hand is warm. There's nothing wrong with this. And you train it, oops, sorry, little girl. You train it quickly that being picked up is not a problem, right? And they stop that response where they nip every time your hand comes at them. I want to end on that note that ball pythons are really good pets. I wish there weren't so much anti-ball python rhetoric out there. I think that it turns people away who would have had a great experience because they hear people online that are like, oh, it's boring, it's terrible, it won't eat for you, they're scared all the time, they hide all the time, they're bad. I just disagree. I think they're amazing pets. I hope that people will give them a chance. If you know someone with a ball python, maybe go get a personal experience rather than just buying into the negativity that you might read about or hear on a vlog or something. Just give them a chance because they are friendly. They are smart enough to learn the difference between people, so they'll learn to trust you really quickly because you handle them every day. Maybe someone who lives with you, they learn to trust fairly quickly too. you'll notice you hand them off to a stranger because they want to see your snake, and for a minute they kind of do that stiff thing again. And you're like, oh, that's what they did to me the first couple times, but it's been months since they've done that. Well, they don't know this new person. It might be a threat. So it takes them a couple minutes, and then they start to warm up and they start cruising around, and you see that whole experience again. So just, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Don't let people turn you off of a ball python if it's something that you think you would like. Of course, if you are into reptiles and some other species is your dream pet, don't let ball python people talk you out of your other pet and getting a ball python. That's crazy too. But trust yourself. Trust what you think you would like. If you want a super high energy, high activity, ferocious eater, real fast, cruise in their cage during the daytime a lot, if that's the kind of reptile you want, and you want it to be a snake, there's options for you. If you have a family of young kids and they're going to want to handle the animal, something that's real tiny and wriggly might not be your best option. A thicker bodied, slower moving python or boa might be a better option in that case. If you're really into morphs, and you don't really care what the species is, you just love having, unique looks to them. There's lots of species with morphs. It's not just ball pythons, corn snakes, boas, retics, which now come in so many super dwarf sizes that are more approachable to regular people. And there's more. There's a lot more. Hog noses are exploding in popularity. There's just such a variety. I'm not trying to say ball pythons are better than those animals. That's not true. But they are wonderful, and I don't like hearing negativity about some pillar of the reptile world coming from within the reptile hobby. There are so many people out there who hate reptiles and hate snakes. We get plenty of that from outside sources. Why do we need people who are ball python fans bashing on other species? Why do we need people who aren't ball python fans bashing on ball pythons? It doesn't make sense. It's not going to grow the hobby. It's not going to make the animals be better taken care of. It's not going to make new hobbyists make smarter decisions somehow. It's totally pointless negativity. So I just want to stay away from it and talk about, be realistic. There's negatives to various species, but there's also positives, and I think that there's a lot of positives when it comes to ball pythons, and I hope that next time you see or read something along those lines that you will stick up for them. Don't start an internet fight. That's even worse. But, a simple declaration of your opinion shouldn't have to be controversial. If you say, oh, that's fine that you think that, but I love my ball python. I think it's beautiful and he's friendly and I've never had those issues that you're talking about. That's not confrontational or abrasive or aggressive. And it will allow newcomers to the hobby who don't have personal experience to at least see both sides, which is what we need. Because then they can make a more informed opinion for themselves, rather than just being told what to think by someone who hates this species or someone who only likes this species or whatever the case may be. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rambling. As always, I hope at the very least you enjoyed watching a beautiful animal crawl around for a few minutes. I really appreciate all you guys watching and commenting. Obviously our channel is little. It's not like I need it for money. We don't, you know what I mean? I just really like that our content is getting out there, getting seen, so that one more opinion is circulating out there in the reptile world. That's all we really want. And that is all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we're the Reptile Barn.